Today on the Fortean Freak Out, I'm discussing one of the few examples of a real-life hunt for a water monster from the Victorian period. The year 1870. The place Loch Monster, a loch in the south of the Isle of Skye. Loch Monster is by no means large, being about the size of a football stadium. Like many such small lochs on Skye, it was supposedly the habitation of the dread monster known as the Ich Whisker, or water horse. The water horse is a common denizen of the supernatural folklore of the west of Scotland. It's a kind of shape-shifting demon. Sometimes it appears in the form of a handsome man, but usually the water horse looks just like an exceptionally fine stallion. Only when the unsuspecting victim is mounted on its back does the monster plunge under the water. Once the victim is drowned, the demon eats the body, but for some reason water horses cannot digest hearts or lungs, for after an abduction these organs are always found floating on the surface. In 1870, a couple cutting rushes at Loch Monster saw something small and black on the shore. As the man approached the object, it swam out into the loch with its head below water. The terrified pair immediately identified this creature as a water horse. Within a very short time, almost the entire local population had turned up at the loch. The occasion was something of a holiday, with people coming from far and wide in carts and traps, and considerable quantities of whiskey being downed. A small boat was placed on each shore, and a net stretched between them, and the waters were trawled from end to end by a group of gillies and gamekeepers. What happened next was recounted in later life by a boy who had been present on the day. The net got stuck, he said, and all the gillies got the fear of death on them, so they just dropped the net and ran back from the loch. A while after they commenced again, and after a while the net came away on a sudden. Well then, they pulled it in like, afraid all the time what would be in the net. Anyway, there was nothing in the net at the finish, but some mud and two small pikes. No further sightings of the water horse took place, and Loch Monster returned to its former obscurity. How reliable is this story? Well, the hunt for the water monster remained as part of unwritten local history, and old men could still recount their memories a bit more than 60 years later, when two visitors wrote it down. Reasoning that the organisation of the boats, the net, the gillies and the gamekeepers would have left some record, I checked through the estate papers of the MacDonald clan, kept at the MacDonald Study Centre at Armadale Castle on Skye. Sadly, there was no reference to either the loch or the water horse. The arrangements for the dragging of the loch were probably made verbally and never written down. And so sadly the trail goes cold, and we can learn nothing more of the great water horse hunt of Loch Monster. This extraordinary episode is recounted in my book The Guide to Mysterious Skye and Loch Elsh. Details of this and all my other books can be found at my website www.geoffholder.com. Until the next time then, allez avec les dieux.